Well, good afternoon and welcome back to Dig Woodworks, or Dig Tractors. Well, every now and then I like to do a review, especially when there's not many already on YouTube for the thing that I'm looking at. I was in the market for a sickle bar mower, so I can mow the ditch across the street from my house. It has a lot of overhanging branches, and then sometimes it's a little too muddy, so it's hard to get the mower in there. So I figured a 3-point sickle bar or an offset flail mower would do the trick. When I was hunting on Facebook Market, I saw a skid steer quick attach version, which would be better than the 3-point version, I thought. So I found there's some really cheap versions out there and some really high-end versions. After a lot of research, it was between the Samurai, a Canadian-made unit from cutthat.com, or the Pro Cut from AgriShield, an American-made unit. The AgriShield comes in either a bucket clamp mount or a quick attach mount, and its cutting length is 42, 54, or 66 inches. The Samurai is only a bucket clamp style mount and a cutting length of 38.5 inches. Both the Samurai and the Pro Cut have a handy breakaway feature that will allow you the blade to swing backwards if you hit a hard object. Both units have a manual angle adjustment. The thing I like better about the Pro Cut was the quick attach and the telescoping blade that lets you offset it further out from the tractor. So I finally decided on the FHCHJ from Besco, which is neither a Samurai or a Pro Cut. Yeah, I really wanted the Pro Cut, but they had a 6 to 8 week lead time, and although I'm sure the Samurai is a great unit, I just don't think it was the right choice for me. I had a flail mower from Besco before, and that seemed to be a pretty decent unit, so when I saw they had a sickle bar option, I decided to give it a try. So this is a quick attach style. It's got a 60-inch cut with a telescoping offset and hydraulically actuated angle adjustment. However, it does not have a breakaway feature, so I do have to be a little bit more careful with this than the others. But this is kind of like a cross between good and not, it's Chinese, but hopefully it's good Chinese. Because, there is good Chinese stuff, right? It's not all bad. Let's get this thing out of the box and onto the tractor. Some metal shavings that, who knows what that's from. Maybe from crating. But it's definitely packaged well. Right, hang on, let me open up this book and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, that's it. That thingy right there. And cool. Alright, I want to see what's in this goodie bag. I guess it's not just paper, I'm going to have to cut it. Come on. I'm going to have to put the phone down. Alright, so looks like we have like the pivot arm and the stands. And, oh, that's nice, a flow control. It's good to know that they have that on there, so that way it doesn't go herky-jerky when you open and close it. But, let's pull this out. Okay, so we're going to take the hydraulic lines out. The way this is designed is you got one hydraulic supply, and that operates both. That motor for the sickle bar or that cylinder that I just popped out to move the sickle bar around. And there's a 12 volt solenoid here that allows you to switch between the two. I'm not going to use this because I'm going to use the third function on the tractor to move the sickle bar, and then my rear hydraulics to run the motor because it has better flow. So I'll show you what I'm talking about over here. So this button here on the loader control runs these front hydraulics. And then on the back, I've got rear hydro here. This is, I have two on the back. The other side is hooked up to my top link. And I have two levers, so this is my top link. And then this is the other set of hydro, so it either runs in forward or reverse. And it's either, on or off. Whereas the other side is a spring return, so this makes sense. Sickle bar on, sickle bar off, sickle bar on, sickle bar off. Just depends on which way I want the motor to spin. So yeah, I'll end up running an extra long hydraulic line back there, through here, under here, up through here, connected to here, and then put on another set of quick disconnects, probably right around in here somewhere. All right, let's get the rest of the stuff out of the box and see what we got. Pins dropped, they're in, but it's too tight. Interesting. Well, I'll worry about that later. Alright, so I got a pile of hoses. Went to the hose shop this morning, and I'm going to start putting things together. I've already got this solenoid detached from everything, and we're going to go put the hydraulic motor onto the frame, and I just want to make sure, get the orientation right. Doesn't look like, see, there is a washer, just one that goes there. There's no washer or anything that goes there, so this goes right up to the bushings. Yeah, okay, and then this guy goes on there. So all right, Everything that rotates has Zerk fittings on it, so I'm just going to put it together, then grease it up pretty good. One thing I will say about the bushings in here is they're pretty lightweight, but this doesn't really do a whole lot of duty. It just moves the sickle bar up and down. But there is a little ridge from when they drilled and tapped for this Zerk fitting. So I think I'm going to take the file and knock that down. Yeah, it's on both of them in there. Knock that down a little bit. And then, like I said, this is going to hook directly up to my third function on the loader when I don't think I need these regulators or flow controls, flow regulators. Well, you know what they are. So I'm going to take this off somehow. I already tried with the crescent wrench and it's on there pretty darn good. So I might have to put it on the machine to hold this steady so I can wrench that off and then hook the hoses directly up to it. Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to start putting things together and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so there's nothing in the instructions that says or indicates what angle this needs to be on to give it full motion. So it needs to be able to go straight up and down. And then kind of at an angle this way. Might work there. We'll go look at the instructions one more time, see if I missed something. I know I didn't miss anything in the instructions because there aren't any. So there is a picture that shows this not parallel with this, but just slightly angled from it. I think I got it to where I get full range of motion. So I can go at a negative angle there, and it stops before hitting that nut. And then I can go at a negative angle there. Or there. That should be good. Get these nuts on and probably take this off. Now, I did have this flipped over when I was testing it, and I think you can even see what I'm pointing at. Had this flipped over to the other side when I was test fitting. I realized that would be coming too close to the loader here, so I flipped it this way. Hoses are just going to have to come out that way. That should be fine. use it for a little while and see if I want to put it in line or something. I don't know if I hit record or not on that, but these are the 10-foot extension lines. They're running here, union to the original line set, which is going to run to the back of the tractor for the rear hydro, which plug in right over here. Hoping these don't leak from the factory, but we don't have a great track record so far. Okay, it's plugged in. Loop around. Probably should have went on the inside of the ROPS instead of the outside, but this will be good for now for a test. Alright, so that motor should spin. And see any leaks, so that's good. All right. Okay, so I didn't film me putting the sickle bar on because, well, the battery died in the phone, but I got it all hooked up and hydraulics are all hooked up. Nothing's pouring out fluid, so I think we're ready for a test. Now, the thing I don't like about this version compared to the others is there's no breakaway. So if I hit a tree, stuff's going to bend, as opposed to like the AgriShield or even the Samurai. There's detents or breakaways, so it'll flop back and then you can put it back into position. So I just have to be extra careful with this, I guess. Let's see it do sickle things. It's bouncy. Get your fingers in there. Temporary solution, well, maybe permanent. But I took the flow controls and put them on the couplers. Added a couple extra couplers, so this is a different set of hoses. So we'll see if that is a good idea or not. Well, it doesn't look like they'll hit the loader or the quick attach. It's a little wobbly. I have them cranked all the way down. Let's fire this up and see if it does anything. Alright, so one day later I made a slight design change. I went to Tractor Supply and got these inline flow control fittings. It's just a really, really tiny orifice, allows fluid back and forth. That seems to be working better for the action on the sickle bar. Way less jerky. Well, after a couple of days of use, I'm pretty happy with the one I got. It's not something that I'll use every weekend, more like a few times a year, so I expect it to last a good while. Nothing bent or broke while I was using it, so that's a plus. So putting the flow restrictors on that I got from Tractor Supply helped tremendously with the sickle bar movement. It's less jerky, that's for sure. Price-wise, these things are spendy for what they are, and yeah, I probably could have gotten all this done with a hedge trimmer and a pole saw, but what's the fun in that? So on that note, thanks for watching.